I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every minute of it.
I'm gonna take myself a heart of revolution, gonna make my contribution. I can handle myself. Don't fake yourself. Be part of the solution. Don't be hateful. This knowledge puts hairs on your chest. Hairs on your chest. Hands on your chest. Hands on your chest. Puts hairs on your chest.
Hello and welcome back to the Mailmen podcast. I'm Campbell. Gaz is with me here again. And welcome to episode 3. How you going, Gaz?
Very well, Cam. How are you, mate?
Good. Our third episode already. So
That's
we're going to be
great.
putting these up every Monday. They'll be live on Spiral Up channel. So yeah, make sure you put it in your diary.
Hit that like button and subscribe and all those things that will keep you informed with us.
Indeed. Yeah, so we've had a bit of a chat and we've got a couple of topics we want to broach, and we kind of talked about this in the last podcast. We need to get onto another platform, right? Because some of the topics we can start them on YouTube, but to really get deep and to actually talk about them, we need to go off. So we're going to start doing split them in half. So there'll be half of an episode on YouTube and half on Rumble and Odyssey, where we get to talk like adults, right? Like male men, real men.
Real man.
Because I mean, and that's a good point, right? This censorship, it's not very manly, is it?
Well, it's preventing us from being men and being real men at that. And like we've touched upon before, Cam, that knowledge is so important, and that's really, once you get the knowledge, then everything else can fall into place a lot easier.
Yeah.
It's like trying to build a building from the top down. We want to build the building from the foundations up and make sure it's solid.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And a lot of the time, people just keep building, right, and without checking the foundations. Even if they know they're wobbly, like, oh, if I build this way a bit, maybe it'll balance it. But you've always got to go back to the foundations and make sure they're solid.
That's correct. And you did a real good interview the other night with Tony Sayers, or a lot of it I enjoyed. And I really, I found it hard to put my finger on. I just always said, damn hippies. Can't stop. Lately I've been like, bloody hippies, they're the worst, because, and this whole thing about, Tony said it really well, they've got no idea basically. And he spoke, it was nice to hear it from you guys. I couldn't put my finger on it. I was just going, damn hippies, but it was nice to hear you guys verbalize what I was thinking.
Yeah, well, I mean, this whole new age movement, I think, a lot of people realize now that it's just another religion, right? That's all it is. It's the new age. It's catch the people that, were over religion and could start seeing through. It's like, oh, well, here, the new age, right? But it's not predicated on much, not a lot of foundation to a lot of it. And the stuff that is, based on proper foundations, which is more the self-help stuff, right? That's now being taught by people who haven't actually achieved anything. So it's all second, third-hand information, which and these people are just out there making money. So this is, getting educated and also trusting yourself and making your own decisions is, everyone wants your attention and everyone's got the answer. But if anyone tells you they have the answer for you, steer clear, run, don't walk, because no one has the answer for you except you. So everything that we say, this is just our life experience, right? And our perspective. And hopefully some things we say, will click with you and you'll get something, but we don't think that you're going to agree with everything we say, and we definitely don't want to tell you anything, because even if it is right for us and works for us, it may not be right for you. There's certain laws, but as far as, getting through life, it's, we have, if we don't make our own decisions, that's a bad habit, right? Then we're just going to sort of fall and just end up more confused as we go down the path. So Yeah. So that's up there by Tony Sayers on Spiral Up Channel.
Yeah,
Check it out.
really enjoyed that, mate. That was a good one.
Hmm.
And yeah, so today, it's a really important topic that we sort of touch upon. And as I mentioned to you, just in our little pre-conversation, that I've had a few rough days lately, and I think a lot of people out there are having tough days. So we just wanted to have a chat about that because we're all in it, and what are some things we can do to help ourselves through these tough days, and to let you know that you're not alone, and it's quite normal.
It is, and of course, this is a topic that real big, hairy, smelly men don't normally talk about, right? Because we're not supposed to. But I mean that's clearly that's not a good trait. Even as men, we do need to know who we are, right? And be in touch with that, and understand that stuff goes wrong. Stuff can go very wrong, right? And unexpectedly, out of the blue, you think that you've got this, it all together, and you're going down this path, and and then literally the next day, right? It's you're sitting and everything's exploded, and you're like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
And so what do you do from those places? This is obviously a bit more of an extreme, but this is it is something that that we've both been through recently, Gary.
Yeah.
We'll see how we go with that story. Might like get right into it today, but basically, a lot of people are in this place. People have lost jobs, people have lost businesses, houses, family, friends. And that may be either losing them as they just don't want to know you anymore, or a lot of people are passing. There is a lot. I know so many people that just in the last couple of months, someone pretty close to them has passed over. Like it's getting. So this is everyone's getting affected by this. So I guess that's the topic. Like how do we navigate these waters when everything seems to fall apart?
Yeah. And especially when the weather's been so bad up here, Kevin. I know you mentioned it before. I'm in Karoi, a regional town in Queensland, just about 15 minutes inland from beautiful Noosa, and the weather has been awful, and I don't think that helps. We had a sunny day today, and people are just out like, the sun's out, like out, and it's crazy. Everyone's just out there doing stuff and really taking advantage of it. And I know for myself, lately for me, Cam, it's just been, if I don't exercise, I don't feel good. And that's more apparent than ever. And then I know once I do something, I feel balanced again. It just brings back that balance, But yeah, so I've always wondered that the people out there that have never exercised and don't train and don't do anything, mate, imagine how shit they feel.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a good point, Mark. Yeah, and that's something I always think about too. Is when you're in the depths of everything exploding, there's always someone worse off than you. There really is, and that's one of my first thoughts. Always is, it's not you're not in the worst place ever, right? So that just that realization I think helps, because a lot of people just think, oh my God, it's just me, everything, why, the whole why me, but
yeah,
you think about it, it's not you, it's everyone's going through it. So I would say that if you're dealing with stuff, definitely don't let yourself, you got to really not let yourself go down that path, right, of the depression and like, why me, poor little me kind of thing. Now do let you've definitely got to deal with feelings, and don't suppress them. You've definitely got to go there. But as far as letting your world fall apart, that's only going to affect you in the end, really. And there's many ways to look at this, especially if people have passed. It's like, do you want them to see you fall apart, or do you want them to see you succeed? Like, because we don't die, really. We just change vehicles. So yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Like at the start point, understand it's not just you going through stuff. It's a lot of people, and there's always people in a worse position than you, and that's at least a good starting point, I think, you know, that you can
Yeah.
start sort of working out rather than like, it's just all too much.
And we all go through these emotions, you know, that really you can become sort of spellbound by and that really take over. A friend of mine said to me a while back, he goes, emotions are just energy in motion, you know, and it's so true. They come and they go, you know, and it's such an interesting ride, this thing called life, you know, where every day is a different day, and every day you wake up and more than ever now, you know, the misfits like us are feeling more out of place, and there's even more and more reason to go in to yourself and really do all the good things, you know, for yourself. But mate, also to put it out there, that call people up that are like, I've got a few friends that I've actually called up lately and just and I don't like doing it because I've never, you know, I don't.
Yeah.
Life's hard enough for everyone to have one of their mates to just call them up and bombard them. But lately, I've had a few people that I've just had to give them a call and have a chat, and they've been really receptive, mate. And yeah, so I met up with a friend yesterday. We had a good chat, and it's crazy. He's going through the same thing, mate. And a lot of he's got relationship issues and money problems, and he's quit his job because he's turning up to work and just not making any money. He's working for himself. It takes a month to get paid by most people. So yeah, this friend of mine, we're all going through it. We've got to find. It's at that point now. We've got to find other ways to bring money in because that's what's happening. It's all just,
it's this parallel economy that we're starting to hear a lot about is you know, the reason that people are having problems is when they're trying to stay in the system. The system's collapsing. It's in free fall. There's nothing there, and if you go back to the system, they're just going to control you anyway. We know, right? They're going to ask you to take things into your body, to, you know, scan things every day and all this kind of stuff. So this is part of the letting go process too, right? You know, and it kind of, you know, goes back to what we were talking about. Things change, and so we have to sort of learn to go with the flow, right? We have to understand that this is a journey, this is a quest, right? And we don't get to, you know, we can create, you know, our experiences to a certain extent, but we don't get to write the story, I don't think. Now, the more I get into this, that there's things in life that they seem unavoidable, right?
yeah.
There's just things that seem that you have to go through. Like there is a bit of a script, but between those points, you know, we get to decide if we, you know, the level of fun, I guess, that we have getting from point to point. But so understand that, yeah, life changes, and there's whammies out there, right, that are just going to hit you. And, you know, sometimes it's always right. It's always us, you know, because sometimes, you know, there's a saying, right? When there's something wrong, and it's always something wrong with us, right, that we have to look at, is the universal, or God, or whatever you want to call it, will tap you on the shoulder. And if you ignore it, it'll, you know, give you a little nudge. And if you ignore it, it'll slap you in the face. And if you ignore it, a Mack truck will come and smash you.
Yeah.
Because you can't avoid it. It will get your attention, whatever. So, you know, if something big has happened as well, maybe think, were there signs before that? And this is looking at it as what's the lesson? You know, how do I get something from this? How do I use this to go forward? Which is really what this is all about. If we can see value in things, then they have value, right? If it's just like, oh my God, this is just bad, what the hell, poor little me, then
Yeah,
you know, that's not a good place to be, right? That's despair.
that's right. And yeah, it's, no one wants to be there, you know. And it's interesting, mate. I always relate things to when I went to the coffee shop this morning or something. But when I did get my coffee this morning, I always have a good little chat with a few different people. And one of my mates who makes my coffee every day, he said, you know, he's a younger guy, and he said, you know, he looked terrible yesterday. And I said, mate, you look awful. And he said, I've been up all night, you know, I got lucky, you know. this, but you know, he related. He goes, yeah, this nut job jumped into my bed, and you know, we got it on, sort of thing. So yeah, anyone that you're just sleeping with, like, you know, it's not going to bring you anything good. That's the other, you know, another thing that sleeping around is for weak people, and you know, as real men, we don't want to be giving our energy away to, you know, just anyone. But this is what I wanted to make. He sort of said something like, we're just animals. We're just animals in these bodies. And I said, and I pulled him up and I said, mate, well, you've got a pineal gland. I said, that separates us from the animals. And, you know, I just love that story about, you know, Pinocchio. It's a story about the pineal eye, because pin is short for pineal and occhio in Italian is eye. So it's about a boy seeking the truth.
Yeah, right.
Pinocchio. So, but get back to, mate, I'm just starting to think about this stuff myself, because, mate, I've been, you know, just women after woman and all this rubbish, and it doesn't bring you happiness, mate. These things are band-aids, and they get ripped off, and they pull all the bloody hair out with them when they get ripped off. You know, and I guess where I'm going to is, like, he's sort of saying we're these animals, and I'm like, mate, you know, we've got these pineal glands. We're born alone. We die alone from the womb to the tomb, and you're alone in this journey in between. Yeah, we're meeting these people. We're giving away our energy to all these people. Now, people don't realise, mate, that even when you kiss someone, you take on their energy and their DNA and all the history of all their partners and all that. So we've got to be so careful who we let in.
Well, yeah, you can imagine what having sex does, right?
Yeah, exactly, man.
And we're seeing this a lot now with what, you know, what they're, you know, the propaganda they're feeding the young women today is, you know, basically be a slut, right? Get out there and go for it. But men can sense it, and men don't want anything to do with these women.
That's right.
I mean, you know, they might, if they want a bit
of
fun, yeah, one
night,
then it's like, no, that's it, not
that's
interested.
Right.
You know, because, you know, the woman you want to have your children is not the woman you pick up at the bar and take home on the first night. It's a different thing, right? But I would also say that is, you know, just think about that. And it's definitely put out there, right? It's so manly to get out there and just get all the women, just go through them all, one every night. Is that really manly? Is it really? Or is it more manly to look after a family and look after a woman and be strong enough to be there for one woman? Because you sleeping around is nothing. You don't have to do anything. It's just this physical thing. You just have to be there, you know, with a heart on, right? You got no responsibility. You got nothing. So that it's not manly. And you know, is it really treating women the right way? Just using them for sex.
And mate, another,
you know, they're that way for a reason. It's all based on their low self-esteem. So it's taking advantage.
It is. And one other thing that I think's really weird, and mate, it's big up here on the Sunshine Coast, is all these women that have open relationships and they have sex with other men, and the husbands get into it and they watch each other. I think my ex was actually one of these types, mate, and she kept mentioning it to me, and I was too dumb to realise. And you know, I think it would have only taken me to go, oh wow, that sounds cool, and we would have been into it that afternoon, you know. I find it absolutely disgusting, mate. Like, and just so they're sick, they're demented people. Anyone who thinks that sharing your missus or open relationships are cool, then just fucking, I don't know, go jump off a cliff and start again. It's
a mental illness.
It is.
You know, to want to see other men having sex with the mother of your children, that is sick. I don't even know what to say about that. But I've seen these reports, you know, and these articles of these dudes, and they're like, yeah, I'm at home tonight because my wife's out on a date. It's like, what the Yeah, how could you be less of a man?
Mate, I think
You're
that's how
not.
murders are caused. You know, I just think, you know,
Yeah.
like for any guy who's got any brain, and he might just go along with it so he doesn't lose his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing he knows, these emotions just come over him. He can't handle it.
Yeah.
Because, mate, yeah, I that's one thing, man. If you caught your missus cheating on you, geez, I've got a friend who it happened to him twice. He's actually come home from work and found his missus, two misses,
I was going
in
to say,
bed.
it's not the same one, is it? Gosh.
No,
Two
yeah,
separate ones.
different
Wow.
women, but it's happened to him twice. That
Well,
two,
so I mean, and that's a good. So that he's attracting that.
yeah,
That's something to do with him. He's attracting these women. You know, this is a good point. If the same thing is happening over and over, that's you. That's you, 100%. You're attractive.
well, I can speak for myself too, mate, because the same things happened to me in my last two relationships that are exactly the same. So it comes back to me and the type of woman that I'm attracting. And it's funny how when you drive an Audi and you own your own house and you run a business and all this stuff, from the outside, it looks so attractive, man, you know? But when your Audi blows up and your business starts to go a little bit south, then these women don't stick around.
Mm.
So you've got to be very careful who you let in, guys.
Yes. Yeah. You've got to make sure. Basically, you know, we like women, connect with women, are attracted, whatever, because of their values. And we all know, right? We've all seen, you know, two gorgeous women, and one of them you'll talk to me and you're just like, oh, go away, and the other one, you really like, and it's because of their values. So this is the thing, we need partners. You have to have common values, whatever that is, right? You know, we want to have a nuclear family, right, and raise children. That's a common value. You know, and what happens in relationships is people start to take those values from their partners, right, or try and change the values, and people will put up with it to stay in the relationship. You know, like a common one is, you know, either partner might say, well, I don't want you hanging out with your friends anymore. I don't like them. And the partner will be like, but they're my friends, but I don't want to break up my relationship over this. So the friends go. But that doesn't go, that just sits in there in your head and festers and festers. And then another thing gets taken. And what happens is you end up in a relationship where you've suddenly got no common values anymore because you've been taking them away from each other. You then blame each other for not giving, you know, for not being the person you thought that they were. And then that's when everything goes to crap. Yeah. So the main thing is, you know,
it sounds like my last relationship.
Yeah, it's kind of what you touched on. Is, you know, if
you
know
you're just talking about me, bro.
yeah. Well, we don't have an audience, do we?
Sorry, my head's so red at the moment. Sorry, guys. I've been at the gym and I've had a swim. And I've been in the sun and I look like a redhead. It's all
yeah, got the Ed Sheeran's happening there. But yeah, that's the thing, you know, if you know what you're looking for and it's value based and you connect on those values, and then you need to understand that you've got to foster those values. You can't start taking values away from people and changing them. You've got to love the person for who they are, right? And if that's what you're looking for, then that is what you'll attract.
How long do you think it takes to know someone, Cam?
Look, that's, oh my God, Gary. I mean, if it's the right person and you have values, I think that all these things are energetic as well, right? They're in our informed field, our aura, whatever you want to call it. So as soon as you get in the energy field of someone like that, I think, you know, at least you have a feeling subconsciously instantly. And then as you talk, it just, you get better and better. But that doesn't mean you jump in straight away, right? Because we all know that, you know, some people pretend to be people they're not. They might, you know, they might be just, you know, being the person you want them to be. So I think, you know, what values you're looking for straight away, and that's why people are attractive. But then take it slowly. You don't have to, you know, and do you really want to, you know, 10 years down the track, do you want to be telling the story, you know, to your friends, oh yeah, this is where I met my wife, and oh yeah, we got into bed on the first night, it only took me a few hours. Oh yeah. I mean, is it, you know, wouldn't you rather, you know, spend some time, get to know each other before you do that? and make sure they're the right person. Because if you don't, you know, these things fall apart so quick, right? You make quick decisions and they fall apart quickly, right? You take your time and you get more time.
I do.
What do you think, Gary? How long does it take?
Well, it's such an interesting question because, mate, I've had women that see, both works both ways with women and men. Not saying that I have sex with men, but men can come and go as well. But and you know, you might think you know someone and you don't, you know. But I think everyone's different, like you said. I think it's an energy thing, and it's about being honest with yourself as well, because it's so easy to just say you've been alone for a while, you meet a hot chick, and you're like, wow, fuck, this is pretty cool. But you're like, something inside you is telling you something's off, but geez, you know, you love ripping her undies off.
Yeah, it's so
You know what I mean?
attractive.
So, and
yeah.
she's into you as well. So she's telling you, and you're still, something's not right. And it's happened to me, and it happened to me recently, you know. So I didn't listen to those voices in my head. So, but then again, my missus before that, I knew her for like several years before we got together. So I thought I knew her, but then once we were together, it's like once you're a friend and then you're in a relationship with someone, that's very different. You know them differently. So it's really interesting, mate. I think it's very different from person to person.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's tricky. You know, you've really just got to know yourself and trust yourself, I think, because
At the end of the day, that's the key, my man. Sorry to interrupt, but that's it. Because if you trust yourself and you just like, even if you listen to those voices, and mate, like I've said in the past, when I've listened to those voices, yeah, and I might be a really good looking girl, and I'm just like, you know, something's just not right, and you just don't call it back. And you just keep going. It doesn't matter, you know, but it's about with these mind games we play with ourselves, like, oh shit, what if I don't call her, then, you know, I'm like, what am I going to do tonight? Like, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, and if you're getting, you know, someone to fill a void, just understand that's not going to work. You know, two people with holes in them don't make a whole person. They just make a person with a lot of holes, right?
Yeah, mate, two negatives don't make a positive.
Exactly. You know, but on the same note, you know, I think it has to be said, you can't be too standoffish either, you know. Sometimes if it's the right time, the right place, you know, you can't, you know, us as men can hold back when we really should be going forward, right? So that's why I said it's really a personal thing. You know, because some relationships it might take years. Sometimes it's, you know, days or a week and you're in there, and but the thing to remember is, you know, until you've, you know, made a commitment, you can always leave, right? Like, this is the thing, you can get into these things, but it's not just because you're starting to get into a relationship doesn't mean it's going to be the be all and end all. Of course, you shouldn't be getting into relationships that you don't think are going to last, but, you know, just understand that if they start to go sour, listen to the messages and get out, basically, because if you stay in, you're not helping your partner either. You know, keep that in mind. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, but I'll hurt her. Well, not in the long run, you won't. In the long run, you're going to hurt her a lot more by hanging around.
Yeah, they move on pretty quick, mate. You know,
Gaz has got a bit of experience, unfortunately.
Yeah, but then again, man, like I've sort of been too blessed in my life too, with when it comes to women, mate. I've like not, you know, I'm sick of them. You know, so for all the, you know,
but we love you, women.
I'm having a much deserved break. That you know, I've had a girlfriend since I was 13 years old.
Oh my God.
I had sex at 14.
Oh my God, Gary.
I know.
Oh.
So, mate, I was young, bro. Like, and then from then it was like a 14-year-old. I was with her for like a year and a half, and then another girlfriend from 16 to 18, then let another one from 18 to 20, another one, got married at 22. Like, it's just, I've had no time to myself, mate.
Yourself, yeah. Well, and that's a good point. You know, a lot of men need time, right? You got to work out who you are. You need that, and yeah, we should all probably be getting it, you know, in our late teens and early 20s and that, which is kind of what used to happen, you know, is, you know, that when you know we were allowed to have two sexes, you know, boys would do different things and they'd be hanging out with the boys and doing whatever, you know, sport or, you know, military or whatever it was, but male type things. And you know, without women learning how to be men, right?
Well, yeah, my upbringing, bro, was something out of an American like hot movie. It was the eastern suburbs in the 90s in Sydney, where it was wild. You know, we were wild, mate, and it was awesome. You know, like we had parties every weekend. It was totally crazy. You know, so yeah, I had girlfriends, but I had a lot of other girls as well. You know, so it was like, but yeah. Mate, even I said to my son the other day, it's so funny. He goes, we're talking about, I don't even know how we got onto it, mate. And then I said, next, we're talking about planes. And someone said, have you ever had sex on a plane? I go, well, funnily enough, that was my party trick is meeting girls on the plane and having sex with them on the plane.
Wow, man, you're
so I've got a technique. So what you do, guys, see, this is what you used to be able to do when planes, you got to allocate it a seat, right? But mate, when the plane was taking off, as soon as those seatbelt signs went off, I'd walk around the plane and look for a hot chick who was sitting by herself, and I'd just go and sit next to her.
Fair enough.
And that's it. And you've got 12 hours to work your magic, bro. Like on a long haul flight, you know, like off to Europe, even longer, you know, if she's on the second flight as well. So I actually wrote a song called Two Scotch and Cokes.
Oh. That's how long it takes, is it?
Let's go. 2 Scotch and Cokes, please.
Oh my God! So now you're really giving away your tricks. You just
well, mate, this is Gaz.
Alcohol's free on a plane, so we're better to buy drinks for women, right?
Well, mate, this was the old Gaz too, bro. Let me remind you, I've come a long way, you know. So it's funny that I can look back and laugh about this now and go, what a loser, you know. But it's funny. But even then, it's all, everything was about telling my mates, mate. It was all about, just couldn't wait to finish with the girl to get away and tell my mates what had happened.
Yes, yeah. So it's all a mask, basically. Look who I am, and
ego.
We have to let the ego, right? Let the ego.
That's it, bro. Yeah. Sorry, we've got a bit sideways.
But they did a bit, but I mean, this is sort of another thing you said was about calling people, and you know, I'm not the best with phone calls either, but you know, just little things like that, right? Talking to people, accepting phone calls, you know, whatever, getting on social media, forming groups. This is all ways that, you know, that we can, you know, well, basically feel less lonely, right? Get connection and then just work on those connections and surround yourself with people that are going to help you build things, right? Because like we mentioned before, you know, we need to start building these new businesses, new parallel economies, new ways to do things and live that are outside the system. And to do that, we need people, we need supporters, right? And of course, humans are problem-solving machines. So, you know, that's all we really need is to surround ourselves with the good people. So, obviously do that, you know. If you haven't been to a Tartar in Australia, then do that, you know, because that's what we're sort of working on, is it's really just getting people together now. You know, the information's out there.
Yeah.
You know, if you want information, you can go find it, but it's really connecting with the right kind of people so that we can start going forward. So, you know, that's a big thing, you know, if you're out there on your own and you know, as well, you know, connecting to these groups, because if you are looking for a partner, you know, male or female, this is a place to find them. You're not going to find them on Tinder, right? You're not going to find them because we know what's going on. You go out and talk to these people and they're crazy, you know. They start telling you that they've got foreign objects in their body and they used to love wearing that thing on their face, and You know, people who cut their willies off should have more rights than everyone else. Like people like this. So you know, I mean, that's another good point is, you know, make sure that the pool you're fishing in is a good one, right? It's not polluted.
That's it, man. But it always comes back to you, like this whole thing that I was talking about before about animals and we're different to animals. Like, yeah, mate, the yogis, they don't go around like the real yogis, you know, the real ones. They don't go around
without courses and YouTube channels.
Yeah, and they're not out there spreading their oats, mate. And they're
And I was just going to say, it's very interesting, isn't it? Because that's true. Like the actual, you know, monks and yogis and that you know, they're up by themselves and they're celibate. But how many, you know, fake gurus are out there saying, "Oh, that's what I am," and then we find out that they're literally just having sex with all the women that are their disciples. Like and this is what, you know, that's what sort of what that conversation with Tony was about, is all these people that, you know, they're just you know, they're just tricking people, right? They're saying that they're offering one thing, but they're doing the opposite, which is a good, you know, metaphor for dating, right? Like, are these people, you know, when you're meeting people, are they who they say they are? You know, you need to, you know, because most people don't, they pretend to be someone else, right? They be the person they think everyone else wants them to be. And so you can have a conversation, like we were saying before, and think this person's awesome, and then you get in a relationship and find the real them, and they're someone different, right? Completely different.
Yeah, wow, it's really, mate, you're really talking about my subject.
We're back in a counselling session.
Wow,
it's a counselling session.
You're counselling me. There's so many people breaking up as well, man. Like so many people I know splitting up.
Yeah.
And you know, I can't. These are people who've been together for 20 years as well, not just like, yeah, people who've made bad decisions like myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the thing, like, you know, we can spend 20 years, right? And we've all seen couples who you know, are married and live together and don't even talk anymore, right? But you can definitely have a relationship where, you know, you've got your mask on the whole time and you don't actually really know the person you're with 100%. But then when something goes wrong, right? When something happens, like, I don't know, the world goes crazy for 2 years, everyone loses their jobs and everything, then you start to see the real person, right? All these true values start to come out. And so a lot of people, I think, have just gone, that's not who I thought I was with. You know, these values are especially about, you know, authority, right? And who we should listen to, you know, and should we take what they, you know, should we just follow along? You know, are they doing or should we think for ourselves? I think that's the biggest one, is a lot of people have found themselves in these relationships with, I guess, what we would term NPCs, right? These people that just don't think, that are just yelling at you going, but the TV, and you're like, what? And in that situation, you know, I mean,
and if you're with someone that's not autodidactic, mate, if you're with someone that's not autodidactic, geez, it's so hard because
it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, and then if you don't want to, like my ex didn't want to talk about anything, so then all I do is like I'm aware of my surroundings and what's going on. I want to make sense of it all. And that's where these new ages are the worst. That's what I'm talking about. These people who turn a blind eye and would rather get out their yoni wand and give themselves a good rogering, you know, than fucking work out what's going on.
Yeah,
everything's fine.
The new age is it's just a mask with glitter on it. Like, we know most of these people, they run around saying, "Oh, I'm so happy and I feel the light," but we know they're not happy, right? We know they're not. You can see it in them, and then, you know, because they're doing that one time, and then a minute later they're screaming at the world to change. Change. You're the only one that can change yourself, you know. And we know this, right? We know how we react when people come up to us and tell us to change. It's like, nah.
The human doesn't like change, mate, at all.
Like, so this is the thing, guys. So if you're, and gals, if you're going, you know, through some times, which we all are, and if you're not, get ready, it's coming. I don't think any of us escape this, right? You know, I mean, me myself, I've I consider I've had a charmed life, but you know, no one escapes. You know, this change stuff's coming, right? And this is all. It depends how you look at it. To me, this is all for us, right? And if you look at it that way, like I said before, if you can see the meaning in it, how you can use that to get better, to learn, to grow, then it's good, right? You know, no matter what the circumstances. And you know, I'd also say that, you know, we don't die. Life, you know, we're not bodies with a soul. We're souls who are, you know, part-time, you know, inhabiting a body, right, for this little experience. And then that soul keeps going. So, you know, if you're in that position, you know, just look at it that way as well. And, you know, if people have passed, how do you want them to see you? Because they can still see you. Do you want to make them proud, or do you want to collapse in a heap and give up? So, you know, because all strength all comes from inside. So you've got to make the decisions yourself. You've got to, because these big questions we can't get answers for, right? We can't get factual answers. No one knows what happens after death. Like we don't know. We've got lots of ideas, and beliefs, but no one knows. So what this really comes down to is, in the end, you have to decide what you're going to believe. Because if you can spend your whole life searching for answers, right? But that's just as bad as falling down the pit of poor little me. So there comes a point where we have to decide, am I going to learn from this? Am I going to grow from this? Am I going to see this as beneficial? Or am I going to cry over it? You know, am I going to believe that if someone's passed it, that they're in a better place and they're looking down on me and helping me? Or am I going to believe that, you know, this is a bloody trap, right? This earth, and a reincarnation trap. Like we all have we get to choose, and whatever we choose will determine the outcome of the rest of your life, because that's what you'll act on. So again, it comes back to knowing who you are and to trusting yourself and making choices. Rant over.
Yeah, very well said, mate. And look, it's very it's very hard to do, and we've all got to, but we're all here to help each other do it.
Not easy, no, and we will get into that story. This is all coming from somewhere, but we will.
That's right. And
get into our own lives a bit as we go down here, and
yeah, it's interesting because we've both had a lot happen to us, and we're just sort of giving people a bit of a fluff now, and I guess it's hard to, you know, we've got these things that are sitting in the back of our mind that we haven't really brought to the surface, and sort of, we will get to it.
We will get to it. It's a process. It's a process for us as well. So there you go, guys. I think we better end on a happy note here. So, but just remember, guys, and you know, have a chat, right? Have a chat in the comments, right? If there's anyone, you know, say hello to people, see where they are. Is anyone near you? You know, is anyone with similar interests that you can, you know, talk on WhatsApp with? You know, make connections, because anyone watching this kind of content is going to be someone that's, you know, in your sort of general frame of mind, right, with your sort of general values.
That's it. And I did see in our comment section that people are sort of branching out. So there's been a couple of guys going, look, I'm happy in my own skin, but if it was nice to, you know, meet a girl, it would be good. So there are guys out there. Cambell and I could literally become like the new age, not new age, we hate that word, but could become the Tinder for
the Tinder,
for realists, for direct realists.
I think we need kindling. It's kind of like Tinder. I need a better name, right? Woody.
Yeah, like
Woody.
It is. Mate, one thing. Remember this, guys. Ask any married man when the happiest time of his life was. Look, getting their kids born will probably be one of them.
Yeah.
But trust me, the next thing will be when he was single. I swear, man, I'd do it for a laugh. You just go up any married guy, you know, you're like, when was the best time you like? And you just be like, mate, when I was.
But this is the thing, right? And this is nothing against women. We love women. But the whole marriage thing, like people were just getting married for the wrong reasons. They just thought that you had to get married and then you do this and then you get a job and then you get a
Yeah.
mortgage and then they're
Right.
40 going, what the hell? What happened?
Yeah,
And so what it is they were happy when they were single because that's the last time they were themselves.
that's right. And just remember, guys, mortuary comes from the word. Oh, sorry, mortgage comes from the word mortuary and morgue. It actually means death pledge.
Pledge.
So
sign on the dotted line. No, don't do that.
You know, let's finish on a happy note.
Finish on a happy note. All right. I think it's time for a little bit of laughter and hilarity because, guys, these jokes are hilarious. All right. So we expect, you know, a myriad of comments, you know,
just real
literally
funny guys.
comments where you can't even write because you're laughing so hard. So we'll be keeping an eye out for them because we're hilarious.
We're just the real funny guys.
We are, and not just to look at. You know, I went shopping the other day. I went to buy some camouflage pants, but I couldn't find any.
That's actually not too bad.
Too bad. Yeah, I mean, organ donating, right? That takes guts.
The Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, they come into that final clinch scene, and Darth says to Luke, "Luke, I know what you're getting for Christmas." You know, and Luke's like, "Fuck, what's going on with Darth?" You know, and they come into another clench, and Darth's like, "Luke, I know what you're getting for Christmas." Anyway, he throws down his lightsaber and says, "Darth, how do you know what I'm getting for Christmas?" And he says, "Luke, I have felt your presence."
God.
So bad, it's so good.
It's bad, it's good. That's definitely a dad joke. What do you call a dog with no legs?
A dog with no legs?
A
sausage or something. I don't know.
Anything you want, it still won't come.
That's all right. That's not bad.
What do you call a man whose job is to top up drinks?
Don't know.
Phil.
Oh, I like it. Have you ever heard of the bloke who could sing through his ass?
No.
So this guy could sing through his ass. So he goes, his friend says, I've got an agent and you should see the agent. He could get you some gigs. So the guy knocks on the agent's door and the agent's like, "Come on in." So he jumps on the agent's desk and he does a poo all over the agent's desk. And the agent says, "What the hell are you doing that for?" He said, "Just clearing my throat."
Did you know that when life gives you melons, you might just be dyslexic?
That's not too bad.
Yeah. My wife told me I had to stop acting like a flamingo.
Really?
Had to put my foot down.
I like it. Well, what do you call a fish wearing a bow tie?
I don't know.
Sophisticated. Sophisticated.
Sophisticated.
uh,
I was in a park, and I saw this frisbee, and it was just getting bigger and bigger. And I couldn't work out why. Then it hit me. I used to be addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turned myself around. Most people are shocked when they find out how bad I am as an electrician.
Oh, that's not bad.
Never trust atoms. They make everything up.
Did you hear about the racing snail who got rid of his shell?
No.
No, he thought it would make him faster, but it just made him sluggish.
Yeah, my therapist I went to see the other day, and she said I had a preoccupation with revenge. And we'll see about that.
That's not bad.
Did you hear about the man who invented the knock knock joke?
No.
He won the Nobel Prize. Nobel. Nobel. People.
What's the most popular fish in the ocean? A starfish.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. What did one plate say to the other plate? Tonight, dinner's on me. What's a vampire's favourite ship? A blood vessel.
Oh God.
The son says, Dad, I'm hungry. And Dad says, Hi, hungry. I'm Dad. That's,
Yeah, I know. That's definitely a dad joke.
that's the daddest of all time.
Daddest of all jokes.
I just still do that to my kids. That's
Yeah, I know, right? Especially in public, it makes it more fun. All these people with selfie sticks, they need to have a good hard look at themselves. I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every minute of it.
How do you make holy water? Boil the hell out of it.
God. That's pretty bad.
How do you tell the difference between an alligator and a crocodile?
Because something about crocodiles smile and alligators.
You will see one later and one in a while.
Oh, one later and one in a while. Okay, of course. Last night, my girlfriend was complaining that I never listened to her, or something like that. There you go, guys. That's episode 3. Episode 3 of the Mail Man.
3.
Done and dusted. So make sure you stick around, have a listen to songs by Gary. Of course, you'll find a link below for Gary's Spotify. And if you want Gary to put an album together, then leave us a comment, because I think he should. And also, obviously, make sure you leave us a comment, like, share this content around, do all that stuff, give us free promotion, tell everyone we're amazing. And of course, we'll be back every Monday around, I'm in Perth, but every Monday with a new podcast for you. And next week, we will start our part 1 and part 2, right? Our censored and non-censored. So next week you'll get the Mailman uncensored.
Sounds interesting. That'll be good. We can let loose a little bit. So come along, guys, to that. We'll do, as Campbell said, we'll do the first part on YouTube, then we're going to switch it over.
And the fart jokes shall roll out.
And and we can really let loose and open up these the vocal cords.
Yeah, exactly right. Without clearing our throat first. So there you go, guys. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed that one. Have an amazing week, and we'll see you back next Monday on The Mailman.
Thanks, guys.
Bye for now.
I always thought it was up to me to make a difference. Means nothing to sheep. Fooled by the love of the government's hugs. I'm kissed by the one, she's the sun from above. Ain't it funny in a room full of test ya? Making money for the moon, I betcha. Ain't it funny I'm your groom and I get ya? I'd see best when I see she's wet now. If I had the chance I'd swim oceans and sing. Slap a smile from your face, you got nothing to bring. 2 hands, great flick, thanks Heath Ledger. Elixir on election. I will, I won't ever be that man, ever be that man again. I will, I won't ever be that man, ever be that man again. Now I know that it's up to me to make a difference. Mine's like a sheep, not fooled by the government's hugs. Need a fast line, love like doves. Not fooled by the government's direction. Can't blame, don't give me erection. Might sound mean, but I think I see ya. And stranger, no danger.
Moment for a second, then I lose my concentration. If rumors were religion, then I'd be the confirmation. I intend to get my sights set on using information to connect the chosen people to this soulful inspiration. There are no limitations when you're living from the heart, shining light into the darkness with the art as we embark on an instrumental mission, stepping on a peaceful path, knowing where we come from, letting you know who we are.
I will, I won't ever be that man, ever be that man again. I won't ever be that man, ever be that man again. I won't ever be that man, ever be that man again. I won't ever be that man, ever be that man again. I won't ever be that man, ever be that man again. I won't ever be that man, ever be that man again.
All right.
Just in case.
No more swearing.
Yeah. Do you know how many F-bombs I had to cut out from you from today's episode?
Me?
Yeah, I could have
Really?
about 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought I was a non-swear cat now.
Yeah, I didn't realise either. I'm just going, it's like, fucking this. And I'm like, what the hell, Gary? I cut it all out though, so I cleaned your potty mouth for you.
Well, that's it. I'm going to watch the swearing, mate.
All right, let me do an intro.